Ladies first. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're not tired after eating. So whatever itis you got, get rid of it.
I'm wondering what I'm fine.
There we go. My name is Michelle Owen Esdale. I am the owner of the Hook and Company, which is an online market space for industry professionals and artist managers. Imagine if Fiverr had a baby with the music industry. It's really to make the business. We talked about visibility earlier this morning, and that gives the artists the opportunity to visibly see who's doing what in the space. I also am the owner of the Hook Sync Group, which is a sync agency. How many producers are out there? Songwriters? Can I see a show of hands? Where's my artists at? Where's my songwriters at? You guys, come on. Be proud of what you do. Where's your hands? Well, I moved music to television, film, commercials, and video games. How does that sound? Any other hands want to go up? And by way of that, because I understand this is a kind of a new space, I also operate what is called Sustainable Creative Living, which is an education platform / IP creation space. I curate and, present various workshops in the sync music production space, which helps you understand how to make cinematic composition, sound effects and sound design for video games, songwriting specifically for film and television, etc. And so that's just a little bit about me, because clearly I don't like sleep.
A little bit, but you do a lot. You do a lot. Thank you for that, Mr. T-Nurse.
Yeah. I go by T-Nice. I'm just the guy that's the bridge to corporate American labels and stuff like that. I own my own label. I'm a producer at Core First, wearing a hat, and also I consult for Atlantic in development partnership with Def Jam. And lastly, I just did a deal with Sony Orchard on just developing artists. So all I do is develop artists, and that's the bottom line.
All right, we've got some experts here in the room. Mr. Fusi, hi. Tell us about yourself, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is doing okay. My name is Aziz Olajumoke Fusiboye. I'm the CEO of Hype Media Marketing. I'm a media professional with over 7 years of experience in marketing, social media marketing, digital marketing, and also I'm privileged to manage one of the biggest artists in Canada right now. Her name is Tiger, so I'm a talent manager also. And lastly, I would say I'm an advocate for African music, anything African music when it comes to marketing, when it comes to collaborations, when it comes to insight about African music. I think I'm the man to come to. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Talk your stuff. All right. Awesome. So this is the right room to be in if you are a creative, clearly, right? So we're going to get right into our questions. What are some of the most promising industry opportunities currently available for emerging artists of African descent in Canada, and how can these be accessed?
I'll let Fusi start.
You took the mic to tell him to start.
Yeah.
Yo, man. Okay, go ahead.
When it comes to opportunities, for Africans and Canadian space, right, there are different opportunities depending on what you're looking for. You can get some grants from Factor. There's advanced music. You can hear me? Okay, you can hear my part. So there are different opportunities depending on what you're looking for, right? When it comes to the grants, there are companies like Advanced Music, there are companies like Factor and other organizations that offer grants for upcoming artists. Also, when it comes to performances, right? There are so many festivals, there are many shows that happen in Toronto, and that can be an opportunity for you to showcase your talents to people that actually look for talent. Because a lot of artists don't tend to know that there are a lot of places where people offer this kind of services. Like for me, for example, every last Thursday of the month, I do a program at Mild Afro, Mild Hype, where I get creatives to come and perform and showcase their talents to industry heads. I used to do a talent show for the past 2 years called Afro Gin, where I get people to come and I give them a winning prize of $1,000, right? So I just have to, if you're looking for opportunity, you just have to open your eyes, put yourself in some certain spaces, and eventually whatever you're looking for, you'll find it. So like I'll just say, you can follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of those kind of things on my Instagram. My Instagram is Pussy Hype, and you see different things. But like I said, there's Factor, there's Advanced Music, and there are different companies that provide grants for upcoming artists that are from Africa or in Africa.
Okay, great, thank you.
I've had the opportunity, if I can say this very clearly, to travel across Canada, specifically this year, and work with a lot of the music industry associations and different other music industry associations. And what I'm finding in each of the provinces, regardless of how remote they seem, there seems to be a budding African community in the various countries and various dialects, but they are really banding together. And I really like what I'm seeing in terms of the identification of what they're trying to create. And I'm a massive advocate for strength in numbers, right? And so I think in terms of the opportunity for emerging artists, because that was the question, right? Most of these communities are, for the most part, emerging, specifically here, because unfortunately Canada doesn't have a system or a structure set up to support the distribution of your music the way it should. But I like that too, in a sense, because you're technically on the precipice of making it whatever it is that you want it to be. And I like that kind of control, quite frankly. And I think really associating your communities, what you all have to offer, literally right across this country, and starting to make it make sense, you automatically start to create infrastructure yourself. And it's really kind of a cool idea to own the infrastructure in the process of building it. And so, yes, support the artistic aspect of your talent, because that's what people want to pay you for. But also take the opportunity to really understand how business works and who does what. Because decision makers you kind of need to know who they are. So you too can find a seat at the table to make the decisions that you have to make in order to really make an impression about that. Canada does have a high focus of export when it comes to music. They really do. But what kind of music is the question? You have the opportunity to make a bold statement, so they have no choice. Because at the end of the day, export speaks to government, government speaks to funds, funds speak to the fact that it ends up in your pocket.
Here's what I add. I agree with both of them on all the angles. I think that right now, I think we're in a time, this is 2025, I think we're in a time where we're making our own opportunities. So I think that if you're an artist, you have to find your tribe. And by me saying that is, you got to find somebody that is established, or maybe started a label or started some type of boutique, something that's going on, strike a partnership with them and start a movement. Because when you do that, it brings other people to then dish out or to then be part of whatever you want to do and help it grow. Because this whole independent thing, a lot of people getting confused a lot of ways and thinking, I'm going to do it myself. You need help. And right now, Canada needs help. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the help is not really about, oh, I did this myself. No, it's about finding your tribe, joining with them, and then growing.
Amazing, thank you for that. As you said, unfortunately, there's no infrastructure, so there is an opportunity for you to come in, and the community. You go back to thinking about African-centric teachings and principles, that idea of a village, of community, right? Thank you for that. In what ways do you see representation of Black artists evolving within the Canadian music industry? And what impact does increased visibility have on creative expression?
Say the first one again.
Okay, the first one. In what ways do you see representation of Black artists evolving within the Canadian music industry?
In what ways do I see it evolving? I think we have a long way to go. Very, very long way to go. And I just want to keep it real straight and give the right information. the people. This is why I'm even sitting here. When it comes to the black community doing business, is tough, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? So for us to evolve, it got to be trust, and it got to be some type of same energy or same goal. You know what I mean? Because right now, there's a lot in the city, I'm saying. There's a lot of division. There's a lot of so our reputation is not that good in the boardrooms I'm in. It's like when you say certain things or you want to do certain things, they don't even want to do it. Majority of the things that happen in the city, I get a call about it. I'm talking about labels. I get a call about it to see if is it a good move or is it a bad move. So my introduction on when I saw the bridge, that's what I mean by it. These are the things I see from other, CEOs or whatever the case may be. Our reputation definitely to evolve. We need work. We need work heavy.
Like you said, when it comes to emerging artists, black people in kind and entertainment industry, right? One thing I would say, like you said, first of all is unity. Second of all is understanding why are you in this, what are you in this music entertainment for? A lot of artists, a lot of people don't understand why they're making music, what's the purpose of them making music. And it can be a very, very big problem because you don't understand the music industry. It can lead to so many things. Like a lot of people don't understand the music industry, they become depressed, they don't make money from their music. So understanding the music business, understanding the music industry is very, very important. Because a lot of people don't tend, black people especially, they don't want to learn. I won't say not every one of them, but some of them don't want to actually learn what music business is. And that's a very, very big aspect when it comes to music, to be honest. If you don't understand the business, you're just going to be lost. A lot of people just think that, I'm going to start making music in 2-3 years and I'm going to start making money. It's not like that. Like all these artists that you see, all these black artists that you see making it to the top, like I'll just mention the big ones like Whiskey, Davido, Brother, them, they've been grinding for 15 years. 15 years. And that 15 years involves different things, artist development, building your team, understanding the game. Nowadays, I just see artists come out who are making good music. I want to make it, I want to get to the top in 2 years. I'm not going to lie to you, it doesn't work that way. And I come across so many artists every single time. They think that it's just like a 1-2 year game. It's not. It's a long-term game. You have to think about the long term, not just the short term. A lot of people are short-minded, and that can be a very, very big problem when it comes to the music industry and for the black people. Everyone are looking for success right now. And you're looking for success right now, you might get it for like 1 or 2 years, but in the long run, you're going to collapse. Like building a house. If you rush to build a house, what happens? It collapses. But a lot of people, like you want, as an emerging artist, you have to ask yourself, why am I in the music game for? What am I doing this for? That's a big question. I think there's a business like a 9 to 5. A lot of people don't tend to take music like 9 to 5. But music is like being a doctor. Music is like being an engineer. And you have to tell yourself, like, yeah, you want to do it for passion, but are you actually in it for the business? Just ask yourself that question. So that's what I think for that.
Okay, great, thank you. So now, as black people, when you see different people in positions, as kids, right? We see a black news anchor, then we know we can be a news anchor, right? When we see a black prime minister, one day, inshallah, that happens, then we know maybe one day I could be a prime minister, right? So now, with the music industry, what impact does increased visibility have on creative expression as well?
Right now, I'm the only black female owner of a sync agency across this beautiful country that we supposedly live in.
Big up yourself. Round of applause. Big feat. Big feat to accomplish.
I say that to say this. You have to show up. When I first started the agency, I was just excited to start an agency. And I was being told, you need to tell people you're the only black female. And I didn't want to draw that kind of attention. But then it made sense to me why I needed to do that. I needed to support that idea of representation. And once it started to get out, the emails, the phone calls, the panels, the workshops, all the things started flooding in. Even in relationship to the last question that you asked, I think it's it's always nice to see somebody who looks like us in the place that you need to be, but sometimes God's design means it's you. Right?
Sometimes that means it's you, guys. You heard that? It's you.
I tell people all the time, I'm having a Moses moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Go to.
God came to Moses and said, I need you to go free 40,000 people. Hey, do you mind? And Moses was like, not me. I got to stutter. Right? And, it's the matter of fact that I'm still telling the story today as to the importance of deciding what's in you versus what's on you. Right? And so you are all, in essence, in some aspect, a form of representation in whatever it is you choose to do. Especially here. And it matters. It really does matter. No, I'm not saying to ostracize the rest of the world. I'm not saying to not open up your community. Because from a strategic space, we're still not the decision makers. But nothing lasts forever, as my mother used to say. And there's soon at some point going to be space at the table for whoever decides to show up. Who decides to show up as somebody of representation. And so in respect to that question, my thing is I almost don't even want to talk to the artists in the room. I almost want to talk to anybody who does management or any of the industry professionals in this room. It's up to you to show up in rooms that you think you don't belong in. Because you are the gateway to having that representation. You are the gateway of planting the seeds. Because I do believe a lot of the conversations I have, I can't tell you how many white guys in the room say, oh my God, thank God for you, because we want to reach out, but we don't know how. I think that's an excuse, but I'm not here to unpack that. I'm glad I'm in the room too. Sure, you want a bridge? I got you, because I'll shove it down your throat. Right?
That way.
Real talks. So be that person. Be the person in the room. Start shaking hands with who you don't know, or who you don't think you should know, or who you don't think would matter, or who couldn't make a dent in your bank account. Because they're the ones that, surprisingly, will be like, oh, thank God.
Okay.
I'll just add this. I think everything she said, like, 1,000%. But I also think that, as the managers or aspiring managers or even artists coming up, I think we got to create some type of community. We don't got to be best friends. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta really create some type of community when it comes to it, because we could be the decision makers in our own culture, right? But the thing is, if somebody tap me and say, yo, I want to hire this person to run this department or whatever, I should be like, yeah, go ahead. But the thing is, I'm community, like, why him? Why her? You know what I'm saying? So it's always in that position where I feel like we have so much work to do. Like, there's some white folks that are willing to say, hey, man, I'll back you, go ahead. But we can't even get to that decision or make anything happen because somebody's blocking. You know what I'm saying? So I really just want people to understand that, like, they're not against us in a way of like our own culture, because they don't even know it. They want to be part of it. It's just a matter of like who can actually speak that language to make it happen, and who can maybe overcome that hurdle of people just cutting your foot out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here for us. I want us to really look into us and get it better, because we always point fingers of people doing something to us, the other race or the other, but it's really us, bro. Just saying.
That divisiveness piece you're talking about.
I do agree. But I thought that was another question.
Just add something to that, right? Representation is very, very important in the sense that at the end of the day, as black people, right, our stories are not told by our people. There's a fallacy or an image they have of black people in the industry, right? And if you don't represent and tell your stories the way it's meant to be told, then a lot of people have this mindset of us in their head. That's not true. A lot of people I see, like me, what motivates me when I first came to Canada, right? I used to hear things about Africa. Oh, Africa is like this, Africans are like this, Africans are like that. And when I was in university, right, I used to all my friends used to hang out in the black communities and everything. I told myself I want to enter the white community and change the narrative of how Africans, or how you guys perceive Africans, because the thing that I used to hear, I was like, no, Africans are not like this. I grew up in Africa, I grew up in Nigeria, and what I'm hearing about my people is actually not true. So throughout university, right, I used to go for like white community events, wear my outfits, always proud about pushing African culture. I was very, very big on pushing African music because I love Afro beats, and I used to go to the parties, I used to go, I'm like, you guys have to listen to, you guys have to tap into real music. Like, African music is real music. And I go out everywhere promoting my culture to these so-called people, and eventually it's like tapping in, and that's how I got to the position where I am. I get to tell my own story the way it is. So like representation is very, very important. When you go into rooms, you get to tell them the story that they don't know. They just tell you what they know and what they hear from the media. But it's your job to go into these rooms and actually tell them the story, the history about the culture. Because what they say about my culture, when I hear it, I'm like, you guys have a lot to learn. And that's your job, right? To educate them at the end of the day. Ignorance is not an excuse, but at the end of the day, time, man. People don't have time to do their research. And that's where you guys come in. Go into the rooms, talk to the people, and make them know the real history, not the fake history that some people just wrote in the books and said how Africans are. That's what I would say for that.
Yeah, as Africans, we got to stand together, come up together, and celebrate each other. And once we do that, then the world will have no other option but to bear witness to all that we are and all that we do, right? So the next topic is AI. Can I get a show of hands who uses AI currently in any aspect of their work? I am glad to see that because we've had conversations. Our community is unfortunately behind. As with anything else that is systemic, Black people are, I don't want to say victims because that takes away our power, but we're behind in those things and we don't have access to, right? And so I'm glad to see everyone's hands. That was amazing. Where it comes to AI, how are you guys leveraging artificial intelligence and other digital tools to create, promote, and distribute music? And what practical advice would you offer for getting started? Now, your look said it all, so tell me, talk to us, sister. How do you feel about AI? Tell us.
Funny story. I was so hoping Mr. Label Man would talk because this is a massive situation here in the label world.
Well, I use AI. I'm more so into being in control of it than in control of me. And a lot of people, I think, the labels, they're a little scared of it right now, right? Because obviously everybody's kind of like Timberland is creating his own artists, AI artists, which I think is interesting. And a close friend of mine in Atlanta asked me, he was in his live or whatever, and he asked him like, "Yo, why are you creating AI artists? Like, what's the?" He said, "Oh, I just want an artist that's just gonna do what I tell him to do and not talk back." Right? Which I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy," right? But in addition, he also said that it doesn't control me. I can control the sound. I can control what it makes. I think it's important because technology is huge, and a lot of people running these labels or anything in that corporate American stuff, they're all tech guys. They're not even musicians. They don't know nothing about music. They're all tech guys. So some of them understand it. It's just the music men, the music women, we don't understand it, and so we kind of like not shying away from it. We kind of hesitate. But I think AI is definitely important, and I think you should jump on it now.
But there's a follow-up to what you just said now. You're talking about creating artists, AI artists. What does that mean to the artists that are here? What does that mean to the coming up artists?
So that's the part that I personally disagree with Timberland, because you can't create. Okay, you could create feeling. You can't create goosebumps, I would say, from a real person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could tell her what to do and all that and do it, but you can't really. That soul music is spiritual. So I think that's where I disagree on that part. You know what I mean? But I guess he's trying to try something.
When it comes to AI, man, I see a lot of things with AI. I don't delay, right? Like, I just believe, to my own belief, right? I think that AI has been here for the past 10, 15 years. Like, you're just beginning to see right now. But every day you have to move with the world right now. You have to move with technology. You have to learn. Before it wasn't AI, it was Google. Before Google, it was something before that, right? So at the end of the day, you have to find out how do you want to move the time. Find the advantage and disadvantage at the end of the day. There's so many advantages and disadvantages of this thing, but you as a person have to figure out, learn what the advantages and what the disadvantages. So like for example now, sometimes AI can make mixing and mastering much easier and than doing rather than taking your time and effort to do it, right? So like I said, there's so many advantages and disadvantages. You just have to find and navigate around these things. Kind of all these big organizations, they use it. Not only in the music in industry that AI is a problem. In being a lawyer, there's so many industries that AI is taking over right now. But you as an individual have to learn. The learning process, everything is a learning process. You can't just say AI is here, AI is bad. Why is it bad? Why is it good? You have to do your research, learn, sit down, understand it, because time changes every single time. Today's AI, something else is going to come up again. So you have to always keep on moving with time, and that's your job as an individual. But 10 years ago, it wasn't the iPhone we were using. We were using the BlackBerry, Nokia. Now everybody's on the phone right now. So you change with time, and that's one thing we have to do. You can't be lazing around and be afraid of it. Ask yourself what the advantages and how can I use it to my own benefits to be a better creative at the end of the day. But don't be scared of AI at the end of the day. I always tell people, right? AI doesn't really have emotions. Like the way you sing your music, the way you write your music, AI doesn't have the power to do that as an individual. And that's why you guys come in at the end of the day, right? So I can always say, learn it, move with it, and see how you can get the benefits and figure out the disadvantages. But everything has an advantage and disadvantage. Like there are always two sides to the coin. Just like figure out how to use it and how to use it to better your artistry. That's what I say about AI.
I have a slight different perspective.
We want to hear it. Let us yeah.
I totally say use it as a tool. I am that person that'll say allow it to help you write your grants, right? Just don't edit. Please edit because they know.
Submit
they know
work.
exactly. Certain aspects around AI, absolutely. When it comes to the music, because I'm in licensing and clearance of music, master and publishing is where it's right now being held up in court. And this is the sticky part about it because by definition, a copyright, which is the music that you create, can only be used or can only be created by a human. As it stands right now, this is what is the problem. Generative, thank you. AI is the massive concern because it is utilizing other people's master and publishing to recreate. And by definition, if this was anywhere else, you would have to get that cleared, right? We call that samples. And so if you plan on utilizing AI to basically rob other people and then submit it for financial gain, that is the problem. And it is in court as we speak, and lawyers are right now banging their head against the wall. Because the one thing about music industry, unfortunately, is they just don't ever really want to fight for the copyright. And I don't understand why that is the issue. If we were writers of books, we would be protected. Right?
Wow.
But when it comes to music, for some odd reason, well, I almost want to say some odd reason, but we're all creatures of habit, and we as sometimes musicians and creators like to give it away for exposure. And so we create an idea in our mind that music doesn't have a value, which is why we're struggling here in court. So in terms of using AI for music, if you're using it to create something, it should be a support system, not a creation system. I worked on a pilot film for a documentary around an artist or an individual who had passed away. And they wanted to use a particular song in the pilot, but the song was not completed. So by permission of their family, they were able to use AI to finish the song. By permission of the family, they were able to finish the song. But those rights went back to the estate. So do you understand what I mean? Like, we can't just be frivolous with AI. STIM, another company, just came out and launched a clearance and licensing company, which is completely AI, which threatens my job. And so we're all in a position where we have to figure out how we're going to leverage AI the right way.
Wow. So, thank you, because, thank you for giving us that insight, because that is a lot, right? A lot of us use AI for everyday tasks, and we're not thinking that deeply about it, right? It's just you need to get something done, so you use it. And thinking about how you are taking from somebody else, and it's somebody else's idea. Because that's what AI is. It's inputting things into a system that outputs it to you, right? Thank you for giving us that view of that, right? But it is true, as was said, that the world is evolving. Either get with it or get behind as well, right? Right? Respectfully, understanding it and harnessing it to your advantage while still paying homage to where the ideas and stuff came from. So thank you for that. So next question. What practical application tips have you found most useful for navigating the business side of music, from contracts to self-promotion? What practical application tips? So, like, what can you tell people that you found to be most useful for navigating the business side? So, a lot of people are artists, like, you're great at singing or you're great at rapping, but you're not a business person, right? So, what tips can you give those people to further themselves in the industry?
For me, first, I think you just got to identify what your lane is, number one. Once you identify that, second will be a mentor. I think a lot of people don't understand, like, mentorship to me is probably number one out of everything. Because for at least 7 years, Jules actually saw me bang my head on the wall for 7 years straight, failing. Because I didn't know how to get to where I need to get to until I actually moved to New York, and then just humbled myself and actually became somebody coffee guy. You know what I'm saying? But in that, I was able to actually get all my connects. I was able to get everybody. The guys that are now at the highest level right now, they came in, they were like freshmen and rookies. You know what I'm saying? So I took that as, mentor me. I asked them to mentor me. So they were able to kind of like shape me from being a producer, creative only, to merging into the whole executive style. So I think mentorship and identifying your lane is very imperative to actually to do better at whatever you try to do.
So you're in the industry, right? That's not an easy task, I'll tell you for a fact. And like something that you mentioned, right? Mentorship is really, really big. Someone like me, for example, right? I have a lot of mentors and I have a lot of people I look up to. I figure out my strengths and my weaknesses. I look for expertise where can fit in with my weaknesses at the end of the day. So as an artist, right? Because as an artist and the creative, right? It's not easy focusing on the business and the creative. It's overwhelming. So you have to find expertise, people around you that actually understand these things and learn from them. You can employ them. They can work for you. There's so many ways you can do it by networking, right? So I'll just say, find people that are expertise in whatever you're lacking or whatever you want to learn, or you go learn about it every day. That's why people go to school, right? You go to school, you learn about these things. So it's either you find an expertise that's already professional in that will guide you to where you want to go to. And you have to ask yourself what you actually need. I come across a lot of creatives every single day. Oh, Fusi, can you help me? Can you help me? But you don't identify what they actually need. You need a lawyer. You need a manager. There's so many things that you can't just need my help. I should be thinking, what do you actually need? And that's one thing you have to ask yourself when you're going to ask anybody for any question or any favors, right? What do you actually need? Identify that need. When you identify the need, then you know the expertise to go with you to help you with that need. Like you mentioned, Jules. I've known Jules for like 10, 15 years, right? I already identified my weaknesses. And when I met Jules, Jules, I need this, I need this, I need that, I need this. And he guides me to the right way. Oh, Fusi, you have to come for Canadian Music Week. Oh, Fusi, you have to be at this event tomorrow. Oh, Fusi, you have to network with this guy. That's how I met Tina. It was through Jules as a producer. So you have to look for people that understand the industry that will guide you to where you need to go to. But you you have to ask yourself, what do I actually need? But a lot of people don't actually know what they need. They just talk, or they need this, they need that, but they haven't actually identified what they actually need for their careers to move forward. So ask yourself that question. Once you ask yourself that question, then you can find expertise around you, or if you want to learn, like I say, you can learn or find expertise that can guide you or mentors. And then from there, you figure out everything. Because me, I promise you, like, I came to Canada, I never thought I would be in the music industry. I was meant to be an athlete. I'll tell you, when I came to Canada.
You can tell Mr. Tallman, thank you, go ahead.
When I came to Canada, I didn't see them playing Afro beats. I asked myself, how do I want to make people actually love this genre? And from there, I just started navigating my way, looking for people in the space, doing different things to get to those people, because like, I know it's not easy. Like my mom always tells me, you want to get to people's hearts, you have to give them gifts. Because like when I was younger, I want to meet these artists, I want to meet these guys. They'll bounce me from backstage. Oh, you can't be here, you can't come backstage, get out. I'll go home, be sad. I'm like, how can I get to these people? Then I came up with an idea. Where like I started getting jerseys for African artists that come to Toronto. They put their name behind it. I'll go around the city, people signing the jerseys. I'm making content on my Instagram, promoting the artists. Next thing, they started reaching out to me themselves. They want me to be in their spaces. Then I started connecting. Anytime I go backstage now, I'm like, I don't really want to see the artist anymore. I want to see the manager. I want to see the DJ. I started learning and navigating. Like, so you have to figure out how you put yourself in those rooms, in those positions. I came with the gift aspect, going around using my social media. They started reaching out to me, and that's how I decided, being who I am in the industry today. So you have to ask yourself, how do you get into this room? What do I need? How do I get into this room? How do I get people to listen to what I need? And then from there, they'll figure it out. Because I think God's plan is the best plan. If you can tell, you have a plan that you want to do this, you want to do that, but that's not your purpose. If that's not your purpose, you'll never find it at the end of the day. But just like I said, find out what you need and find out how you're going to put yourself in that position to get what you need.
I can't agree anymore with both of them. I mean, mentorship is amazing. Like, it is so impactful because it will kind of help guide you and streamline, cut the fat, to be honest with you, because sometimes we do more than we need to. Cheat sheet around mentorship, or at least understanding what's going on out there. Sign up to newsletters. Like, who cares what the newsletter is, as long as it's orientated to the music or the industry or the area which you're interested in. Because that's where they kind of sometimes give you not only just events, they feature different other artists, they also feature other industry professionals doing whatever they're doing. And so you kind of get an inside scoop on who's doing what and why, giving you an insider tip. I used to go to events after looking through the newsletters, and when I met somebody that I would like to continue conversating with, I'd ask them for a selfie. And it wasn't so much to post on social media, it was so I could email the selfie back to them.
So they remember you as well.
I love this picture, I just had to send it. It's kind of a sneak attack, because who's going to deny a picture with you, especially if you're looking cute? And so that part, and it's easier to move the conversation over to another day where you're like, do you mind if I take 30 minutes of your time to chat? Just to understand sincerely what it is you do, and when you then listen and then talk to them, have them talk, you can identify, are they even in my wheelhouse? Does this even matter? Right? So
I actually talk to you that also, and also when you're meeting these people, right? Don't go with the mindset that you're going to collect something.
That part.
Because I know people go to people, but they just want to collect, or once they get it, they fall away, right? We have to have the mindset that you want to add value. But anytime I go to somebody, right, when I meet somebody for the first time, my first mindset is not to, what can this person give me? I look at it like, how can I add value to what they are doing so they can appreciate me and then give me the time. Because time is money. You might want to go and meet somebody like me, for example. A lot of people message me, or like I say, a lot of people disturb me. I'm looking at them like, the reason why you're messaging me is like, you just want to get something from me, and once you get that thing from me, I'm not seeing you again. But if you come to me, you're showing me value. And look at this event that Juice put together, for example, right? There are a lot of artists in the city, African artists that are messaging me every single time. Juice has been promoting this event for the past 2 months. How many of them do you see here? but they'll be the DMs messaging you, can you help me? Can you help me? When you create spaces like this for them to network with people, they don't want to show up. So when you're going to people, right, I would advise you, go with the mindset that how can I add value to whatever that person is doing, and when that person sees that you're adding value, they feel more comfortable to listen to you. You can't just see a random person today and just go to them and say, oh, can you help me? Can I help you? Everybody has a life. Everybody's busy. Everybody's thinking about something. When they see that you're loyal and you actually add value to what they are trying to do, then you become like a community. But a lot of people in this community just want to eat, have their cake and have it. And that's the biggest problem. They just want to use you, and when they use you, they're out. I can't even like to, like, I made a tool the other day, I want to say controversial, right? I looked at I went to, someone invited me for the Blue Jays game, and they took me to the executive bowl, right? And I seen some white people speaking and everything, right? And then I started drinking alcohol, and I started realizing, okay, when you drink alcohol, baseball is actually, it's more fun. And then I'm getting somewhere, right? Getting somewhere. So I'm like, okay, this white man created baseball. His friend probably owns the alcohol brand. His friend probably owns the keg. So they own the community, and the money is like circulating around them. And that's one thing they do really smartly. When a white man, the money is circulating around the people. But for I won't say the majority of the black people is always like self. For them, they want only for them. And once they get it for them, they don't care about anybody else. And that's something we have to work on as a community. Everybody has a value. Everybody in this room, everybody has a value and a purpose. How can I add value to the next man? And how can he add value to me? And once we have that mindset, we keep on growing, and we keep on growing. That's what I would say for now.
And I want to add this. This is
we're talking. Go ahead.
This is probably really, really important. I think everybody that's trying to be a manager or an artist or whatever, I think that you gotta learn this. I learned this the hard way. When he was saying, when I met one of my, guys in America or whatever, I thought like they could just help me. You know what I'm saying? And I remember they used to, in New York, they say 52 fake out. So they tell you, yeah, I got you. But no, they go, sorry. So I didn't understand it at that point. So one person took me in and said, yo, I'm going to show you why they keep doing that, because you don't know how to nurture a relationship. You just come in to get it. Yeah, like you have to nurture relationships. Okay? So even in a nurturing relationship, if it's Christmas, holidays, whatever, it don't have to be about what you really want from them. It could be anything like, yo, how's your family? I hope everything's good with home. It just keeps you on your mind every time. And then one day they're going to be like, you know what? Yo, actually, come to the office. That's what got me in the Universal building. By me keeping nurturing relationship for a year straight, and people probably thought I was crazy, but I just kept nurturing the relationship. And then one day he just called and said, you know what? Pull up. When I went up, I saw Jermaine, I saw everybody that I've been looking at, thinking like, oh, snap. Like, so I think nurturing relationship, it don't always have to be like, oh, he didn't reply, so forgive him. No, it's like, okay, he didn't reply, so what? I'm going to hit him again until he tells me to stop. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. You got to be aggressive. You got to take it. They're not going to give it to you. So that's all.
Aggressive in a good way, not aggressive in a bad way. I feel that aggressive in a good way, because some people you might rub off the wrong way. So like figure it out. Like so many ways to build relationships, right? I understand that, like someone like me, I'm not saying anything because you're voting, right? I take people's social media for a reason. I'll tell you that. I follow over 7,500 people on Instagram because I look at your Instagram and I can tell a story. I can tell the kind of person you are through your Instagram. The way you look, the way you dress, when you go out, I can tell a story. So when I see somebody, right, I already know how to approach them. I already have a plan in my head. I look at your personality, look at your Instagram, look at your lifestyle, and from there, I look at you, I'm like, I know what to tell you, or what you want to listen to, that will make you want to talk to me. That's one thing I use. So that's one thing you have to learn. When you're trying to have a relationship with somebody, understand the person. What's their life about? What they're trying to do? What's their goal? What they've done? And from there, you figure out how to enter, and from there, the relationship to become. It doesn't take 1 year. It doesn't take 2 years. It can take 10 years. I'll tell you the truth. So don't think about, if you see somebody right now, everything is going to like happen right now. It doesn't really happen like that unless it's God's plan.
For me, bug me. If you don't bug me, I walk right past you. Stay aggressive with me, bug me every day. That's how I pay attention, because you can only imagine how many people be reaching out How many people want opportunity? Everybody trying to make it. So for me, you got to take that route. It's that New York mentality. I'm sorry, but you have to bug me for me. So if you take my number,
You guys
don't
are
be
a bunch of guys.
yeah. But if you take my number, just hit me. Hey, nice. If I don't reply, just hit me again the next whatever. But eventually, you're gonna hear from me, and for me to probably put you around my team. You know what I'm saying? So.
I know you got more questions, but can a female respond to this?
We want to
Well,
hear
sure,
from your
go ahead.
perspective. How would you like to
Does
be?
anybody want to hear a female's point of
Of
view?
course.
Football players?
Of course.
Honestly, for me, networking, especially if I haven't met anybody, I have practiced 3 open-ended questions. And the best that you could do is have everybody else talk. You listen. I don't want to talk. I want you to talk. Talk, 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 talk. And as soon as I align with something that you're saying, I can then say, hey, that's so interesting because I too, ... We should talk about that. What are you doing next Thursday? I booked that right there.
You take them out to lunch.
Because no, I don't even do that. I don't pay for parking, eh? Listen, I'm serious. Every last one of my very first meetings is on Zoom because I don't know what that means if I'm not putting myself out there. And I'm a female. I'm gonna be real.
Protect yourself as well.
Really, like I'm gonna keep it real. And so I never miss. Because the truth is, I show it's a human. I don't care technically what you do yet. I want to know you. Who are you? Because we're all out here struggling, man. We're all out here trying to be the thing. We're all trying to figure it out, no matter what you think the title is underneath their name, whether it's nepotism or they worked hard. We're all out here trying to figure it out. So guess what? I too am here and I see you as a human. But now that I've identified the alignment, let's build. Let's support each other because value immediately is shown when you do all the talking. I already know what I do. And so that's what I do.
Thank you for that. You want to have something to say to that? Yeah, okay. I mean, this is what we're here for. We want to hear your insight. So go ahead. Thank you.
Because this is how you gain your connect. This is how you actually gain everything you're trying to do, right? So I like that approach too, but I also think don't be cheap. Like if I have something that you want and you want to sit me down and have a conversation, don't just ask me these things. Let's go to lunch and actually have a conversation.
That's meeting too.
Do something different than everybody does, because everybody here on GM, everybody here on whatever. Do something different. That's what I did. What I did was I was like, yo, I don't really have money, but yo, I'll take you out for coffee. They accepted it, and that brought me in a circle that, like, right now I can say I have certain things that you guys probably music that's coming out, or like Cardi B, for example. I have certain things from that camp that nobody has because of trust and because of how I move and how I actually nurture my relationship. So I feel like, if you want to get something from somebody else, you have to actually think outside the box a little bit and not do like, yo, hit me up. Oh, no. It's just like, yo, I would like to take up coffee. We're going to just have a conversation. And that's all it is.
Awesome. Okay, so I do want to circle back to the conversation about the baseball game because I am a advocate for Black people. So there are systemic barriers. So there are reasons why those things, are not been so widespread within our communities. But as you were saying, yes, like building those things with each other, right? And elevating together is huge, right? I do want to talk about the networking stuff. Like you guys are absolutely right. Like making yourself different. Everybody wants to make it. Everybody wants to be something, right? For the most part. And so what sets you aside? Value add. I'm not just coming to take something from you. I can't do that. Because every day someone's coming to you for something, right? What do I add to your life? How do I make your life easier, right? So these are the things that you guys should be thinking about when approaching people in positions and people that you want to know, right? Be genuine. We're all humans. Be genuine. And that will show through. If you have ill intentions, it will come out. And these people in these positions see people every day. So they can suss those things a lot sooner than most people. So it's of no use. Okay? It's of no use. All right. So the next question I have, and this is going to be the last one. So we were talking about like the space, like getting yourself out there in terms of using digital marketing and things like that. What other advice can you give for upcoming emerging artists in terms of using the digital spaces to amplify themselves?
I'm very big on digital marketing and social media marketing. That really like the world is changing right now. A lot of people's attention span are is really small right now. So when it comes to social media, I will just tell people just don't think about it too much. Don't think about what you post. You can think about it, right? But at the end of the day, just when you're promoting your art on Instagram, you have a purpose of why you're promoting that art. What's the purpose? What's the goal of you promoting that content, for example? Because a lot of people overthink their content. I'll tell you something for a fact. It's not the best content that goes viral. You never know what content is going to go viral. You just have to find what's the reason, what the goals of me. Because a lot of people just sometimes post aimlessly. I'll tell you, like me, when you look at my social media, every day in the morning when I wake up, there's a reason I post on my social media. From the music I put on my social media, from the content I post on there, there's a purpose for it. I'm trying to achieve something. So when you're posting on social media, give yourself goals. Give yourselves like, what am I posting? How am I marketing my music on social media? Who do I want this to? Who do I want this to reach? For me, when I'm posting, I tag like 100. I'll tag like, you're only allowed to tag like 20 people. I tag like music blogs. I tag like artists. I tag managers just to see my content. And eventually they see it. And that's the goal. My own goal is that I want people to see what I'm promoting. So as a creative, right, social media is a very good tool if you use it the right way. Like I said, what's the purpose? What's your goals? Why are you trying to do that? Why are you trying to do this, right? Set your goals, because social media marketing can take, because like that is a global world. You might be in Canada right now, but people are seeing your content in Africa, people are seeing your content in China. That's what social media gives you nowadays. Back in the day, they didn't have that privilege. It was harder. But it's like you have a billboard on social media you need to promote to your people. How do you get to the right people? Research. When you're posting your post, tag them. So like he said, bulk him, tag T9, let him see your content every single time. When he sees it, I think when you're posting it, one person will see it and like it, and then that's how you build a community. Because this music industry or the creative industry, if you don't have a community, it's very, very hard for you to get to the next level. A lot of people want to make it as a creative, but where's your community? Who are your supporters? When you release a song, who is listening to your music? You can use the social media to develop this community. We have to be smart about it. That's what I would say when it comes to digital marketing and social media marketing.
Anyone? Thank you, and I agree 100%. I think consistency is always key. But the truth is what is your story? I mean, like, what are you into? What do you care about? Who are you as a person? I see a lot of, I like to call it copy-paste on Instagram. It just looks like somebody's taking a course online and just trying to like duplicate what they think works for somebody else. And I don't think that's manageable or sustainable, because you gotta show up. You have to show up. You can't be something else and think you can maintain it. Not to mention, there are, I mean, let's keep it real. There's 9 billion people on the planet. If you get 1%, you're pretty good, right? And so if that 1% is anybody like you, you're good. But they need to know you exist. And they want to hear the same language. They want to taste and touch and feel the same things that you do, because that's their interest. So you don't have to be like anybody else. You just have to be you. The gentleman in the red, and I apologize, I didn't get your name. Yourself? Yeah, Mr. African Fashion Week. You made an amazing point earlier in the day around your brand is you. I always say your brand is how people speak about you in rooms you're not in. And so you have to choose who you are when you show up. Not only so much for your artistry, but for the consideration of living the rest of your life in the thing you love. Because that's a tough thing to maintain if you want to start off with a lie, for starters. Secondly, consider different mediums. Instagram's great, TikTok's great. Who's there and what do they do? If you care about a thing or you're really skilled set in something in regards to your craft, maybe Patreon's the space for you so you can make a little money on the side. Because the truth is, teaching creates leverage and credibility. So identify the varying spaces. Maybe Bandcamp is really what you're pushing. Like, I know you can't communicate as much on Bandcamp, but you'd be surprised who really lives there. it's just a matter of understanding who you are, what you can maintain, where your audience is. I always say the song is like Pepsi, the drink. Pepsi chooses to show up in a bottle, a can, as well as syrup. The reason being is because I can't go to Burger King and get a can of Pepsi. I can only get syrup. If I go to the grocery store, the case is in the aisle, the 750 milliliter bottles by the cash. In other words, Pepsi's perfected on how to get its product to meet its audience. Figure out where your audience is and what conversation and communication they need in order to facilitate what is in you to create the community you want. Because I don't understand otherwise what your music is about, right? Because music connects.
And what I'll add, while you're doing everything you said, what you do is you take one patient for once for artists. It's not a race, it's a marathon. So don't rush to, I want to put this out, I want to do this, I want to do that. Relax. Because some of your peers that you think are probably beating you, they're still struggling the same way. It's just that they're just a little bit popular than you in the local realm. So what I would say, be patient. If you have a job, don't quit your job. Keep working your job, save the money. Because you won't need that for marketing. Just keep it real. Marketing is not going to go viral tomorrow, bro. It's not going to happen. You got to put money behind it. Anything you see moving the algorithm and everything, there's a lot of budget behind it. This is why you sign with labels so they can really market you at the highest level to the masses. So if you want to just do it at your own capacity, you got to be patient. You got to work your job. You got to get funding. Whatever you need to do to get that budget, you need that. Because I'm not going to sit up here and be like, yeah, just do your video, post it, and someone's going to see it. You're going to need budget behind it. And that's the actual fact. You really market your stuff. So, be patient. Don't rush. It's a marathon. It's not a race.
Ooh. I think that's something like you said, right? Set your goals. What your goals? What's your purpose? And then try to put everything together, and eventually you get where you're going. So once you figure out what your goals are, what you trying to achieve, I keep on telling people, ask yourself that question: what are you trying to achieve? There's a template for everything in this life. There's a template, but you have to ask yourself, what someone has done before is going to happen again. What has happened before is going to happen again, just in a different way. There's always a template, but you have to ask yourself as an individual, what is my goal and what is my purpose? When you ask yourself those questions, then you can navigate what you want to get. That's what I would say with that.
Okay, thank you for that. So that was a pretty, riveting panel, I would say, right? I would say. Okay, I want to ask you guys a quick question. Who wants to be successful in this life? Can you please stand up? Please stand up for me. If you are planning to be successful in this life. Okay. Yes, you guys too, right? All right. Great. See, this is what we want to see. This is why you're here. You're out here trying to network, trying to figure it out. That's what we're all doing. So can I please get a round of applause for our panelists? We have Aziz. We have T-Nice. We have Michelle. A round of applause, please. And I am MC Tiki Ohima. Thank you guys for listening. And we're going to bring up Mr. MC Afro to introduce our next panel. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much. You guys please stand up for a group pic. That tune you're hearing right there is brand new by Quasi, formerly Akon of Rough and Smooth. He's in the building, one of the biggest artists out of Ghana. He's in the house. Akon, where you at? He's right there in the back. Make sure he's just hiding, but superstars hide in the corner, Big up yourself, brand new single. A big shout out to give a round of applause for MC Fifi Ohima. Guys, if you're looking for an MC for your events, Make sure you holler at her. Make sure you support the females, you support the queens. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. DJ, in the moment of time, we're gonna get right into the next session. And for most of you artists and business professionals that are here, this part is about funding. Funding. Funding.